Hey, how's it going on everyone? Welcome to the third video in our algorithms design and analysis series. In our last videos, we have discussed what are algorithms and what is time complexity. Now in this video, we will see some pseudocodes and try to find their time complexity. Our first pseudocode is to find the sum of n natural numbers. Now whenever we analyze an algorithm, the time taken by each step to execute is said to be its cost. Now let us look into our pseudocode. First we initialize a variable sum. This statement runs only once and let's say it takes a constant time c1. Next we have a for loop which starts at index I equal to 1 and increments up to n. If the for loop increments or decrements by a factor of 1, we say that it runs n plus 1 times. Let us understand this better by writing a for loop in Java syntax. Now if we see into our for loop, first we initialize a variable I. Then we check the condition if I is less than or equal to n, and then our statement is executed, and after that our I is incremented by factor 1. Now when I is equals to 1, our condition is checked. If found true, our statement is executed and I is incremented by 1. This process happens n times. For the nth time, our I becomes equal to n. When I is equals to n, our condition is checked and it returns true. Then our statement is executed and again our I is incremented by 1. Now our I is n plus 1. For the n plus 1th time, our condition is checked. Now it finds that it is false. So our for loop stops here only. And our statement is not executed. Now it checks the condition for the n plus 1th time and finds it's false. So our statement is not executed. Now we can see that our conditional statement is checked n plus 1 times, while our statement as well as the incrementing step run only n times. So for this for loop also we can see that it will run n plus 1 times and the statement inside it will run only n times. Let's say the time taken by for loop to execute is c2 and the time taken by the statement inside is c3. Next we have a return statement which will run only once and let's say it takes constant time c4. Now if we write the time function of this algorithm, we will say that our time function f of n will be given by c2 plus c3 n plus c1 plus c2 plus c4. Now whenever we want to find the time complexity of a function, we always ignore the lower degree terms as well as the coefficient of the highest degree term. We only consider the highest degree variable, which here is n. So the time complexity of this function is of order n. Remember, I am saying the order, not big O. Currently this O does not represent big O. We will learn about asymptotic notations in our next video. To understand this concept better, let's take another example. Let's say we have a function f of n given by 5n square plus 3n plus 1. To find the time complexity of this function, we ignore all the lower degree terms as well as the coefficient of the highest degree term. We only consider the highest degree variable. So the time complexity of this function is of order n square. You might be wondering why are we ignoring these terms. For very large values of n, say n is equals to 10 to the power 10, all the lower degree terms as well as the coefficient of the highest degree term become insignificant in front of the highest degree variable. So to ease our calculations, we ignore all these terms. Now let us look into our another pseudocode. First we initialize our variables a and b. Now this statement will run twice. First to initialize our variable a and then to initialize our variable b. Let us say it takes time c1 to run once. Next we have a for loop which again increments from I equal to 1 to n. As we just saw, this for loop will run n plus 1 times and the statement inside it runs n times. Let's say the time taken by a for loop to run once is c2 and time taken by the statement to run once is c3. Again we have a for loop which is independent of our previous for loop, and we again see that it also increments from 1 to n. So it will also run n plus 1 times and the statement inside it will also run n times. Let's say it takes time c4 and the statement inside it takes time c5. Next we have a return statement which will run only once and let's say it takes time c6. So the time function of this algorithm will be given by 2c1 plus n plus 1 c2 plus n c3 plus n plus 1 c4 plus n c5 plus c6, which can be again rewritten as c2 plus c3 plus C4 plus C5 n plus 2C1 plus C2 plus C4 plus C6. To find the time complexity of this function, we will ignore all the lower degree terms as well as the coefficient of the highest degree term. So the time complexity of this function is of order n. In our next pseudocode, we have nested for loops. Let's try to find their time complexity. First, we have a for loop which starts at index I equal to 1 and increments up to n. We just saw that such for loops run n plus 1 times. Inside this for loop, we have another for loop which starts at index j equals to n and decrements up to I. Now we can see that our second for loop is dependent on our parent for loop. Let's try to find the total number of times our second for loop runs. For different values of I, our second for loop will run different times. For I equals to 1, our for loop will start at index j equals to n and decrement up to 1. So it will run n plus 1 times. For I equal to 2, our for loop will start at j equals to n and decrement till 2, which means it will run n times. For I equal to 3, our for loop will start at j equals to n and decrement till j equals to 3, which means it will run n minus 1 times. Similarly, for I equals to n, our for loop will run n minus n plus 2, which is 2 times. We have to find the sum of all these numbers to find the total number of times our second for loop will run. We can find the sum of all these numbers by finding the sum of n plus 1 natural numbers and subtracting 1 from it. So the sum of all these numbers will be n plus 1 times n plus 2 divided by 2 minus 1, which is equals to n square plus 3n plus 2 minus 2 divided by 2, which is equals to n square plus 3n by 2. So we can see that n square is the highest degree variable in this function. And in this whole algorithm, our first statement will run only once. Second statement runs n plus 1 times, so the highest degree variable is n. Second for loop will run n square plus 3n by 2 times, in which highest degree variable is n square. And the statement inside a second for loop will also run in order of n square. So we can say that the time complexity of this pseudocode is of order n square. Let us see our next pseudocode. Again in this pseudocode, our for loop starts at index I equals to 1 and increments up to n. And the second for loop is independent of our parent for loop. So in such case, our first for loop will run n plus 1 times and the statements inside such for loop run n times. Next we consider our second for loop. Our second for loop starts at index j equals to 1 and increments up to n. But it does not increment by adding 1 every time. It increments by multiplying 2. So let us see how many times it runs separately. For j equals to 1, it will run 1 time. For j equals to 2, it will run 2 times. For j equals to 2 into 2, which is 2 square, it will run 3 times. For j equals to 2 square into 2, which is 2 to the power 3, it will run 4 times. So we can say that for j equals to 2 to the power k, it will run k plus 1 times. Now for this for loop to terminate, our j should be equals to n, which means 2 to the power k should be equals to n. So here k is equals to log n base 2. So we can say that our second for loop runs log n base 2 times. Same, our statement will also run log n base 2 times. For overall, we can say that our second for loop runs n log n base 2 times. So the time complexity of this pseudocode is of order n log n base 2. We have seen enough for loops. Let us see a while loop. While loops are similar to for loops. In while loops also, we have a conditional statement which checks the condition of a variable, and we also have an update statement which updates the value of our variable. Now in this while loop, our value of n gets halved every time. Let us find the number of times our while loop runs. For the first time, our value is n. For second time, our value gets halved. Now it's n by 2. For the third time, again our value gets halved and now it is n by 2 square. Similarly, for the kth time, our value will be n by 2 to the power k minus 1. Now our loop will terminate when n will be equal to or less than 1, which means n by 2 to the power k minus 1 should be equal to 1. We can also write it as 2 to the power k minus 1 equals to n. Therefore, k minus 1 is equals to log n base 2 and k is equals to log n base 2 plus 1. So our while loop runs log n base 2 plus 1 times. Therefore, the time complexity of this pseudocode is of order log n base 2 times. Thank you for watching this video. In our next video, we will discuss what are asymptotic notations. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and share your opinions in the comment section.